The Genius Club with Prairie Pine. Chapter 9. The Change. Never heard of Cake Cat? Nay, never heard of it at all. The clerk scratched his head, his face crinkled with confusion. Did you get the name wrong, sir? Our store has a huge selection of dolls. Why don't you describe what it looks like, and I'll help you find it. Alex paused, racking his brain to recall the details. It's a cat with this expression. He twisted his features, mimicking Cake Cat's signature look with exaggerated facial gestures. Oh, right. The clerk's eyes lit up instantly, a broad smile spreading across his face. I know what you're talking about now, sir. Yes, we have it. Your doll is right this way. He led Alex toward the most central, eye-catching, and tallest shelf in the entire store, its layers towering under bright, colorful lights. Look, it's all right here. The shelf blazed with dazzling lights, stretching over a dozen layers high, gorgeous and imposing. This is the cat you mean, right? The clerk said cheerfully, gesturing at the rows of dolls. This is our best-selling product. This cat has been popular for hundreds of years, and it's still flying off the shelves. But you did get the name wrong. This cat's name is, yeah, I see it. Did Paul. A bucket of ice-cold water might as well have been dumped over Alex's head, chilling him to the bone. Two massive speakers beside the shelf blared an earworm of a tune, and on the shelves, hundreds of identical cats stared straight back at him, their eyes unblinking, their expressions unchained. In the middle of the shelf, a huge sign loomed, its bold characters impossible to miss. A century of bestsellers. A hit of the ages, Rhine Cat. By midnight, the square was completely empty. The surrounding shops had all turned off their lights and closed for the night. Only tireless bugs buzzed and crashed against the streetlights, their faint hum mixing with the eerie chirp of cicadas, adding an odd sense of tranquility to the sweltering summer night. Alex sat on a bench, feeling like a stranger in this world. It was so unfamiliar, so utterly out of place. He opened his palm, revealing a Rhine Cat keychain, the only thing he could afford with the cash he had on him. Every line, every detail, every little ornament on this cat was identical to Cake Cat from his previous dreams. The only difference? Its name had changed from Cake Cat to Rhine Cat. Why did it change? He couldn't put into words the feeling churning inside him. Fear? Terror? What? Not exactly. But there was an inexplicable sense of disorientation, a helplessness that came from no longer being in control. He had always thought he was the god of his dreams, free to do whatever he pleased, with the entire dream world revolving around him. But now, he thought of the Truman Show, and suddenly felt like a caged doll, watched and manipulated from afar. Boom! 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 At exactly 0:42, the white light that swallowed the world arrived right on schedule, burning everything to nothingness. Woo! The night wind blew in through the window. Alex opened his eyes, watching as the sheer curtains fluttered wildly in the breeze. Forgot to close the window again. He pulled the covers tighter around himself, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake the cold that had settled deep in his bones. For a dream that had never changed for 20 years. Change was the most terrifying thing of all. Alex picked up his phone from the nightstand and dialed a number. Hello? Ryan, something's wrong. What's up? The voice on the other end perked up instantly, sharp with alertness. My dream, it changed. Silence. Long, heavy silence. That's awesome! Ryan practically shrieked with joy through the phone. That means your condition is getting better. I told you, didn't I? I said if you watched more sci-fi movies and read more sci-fi novels, your dream world would definitely change. Did you dream about spaceships? Or the two-dimensional foil? Denise? No, it's not that kind of change. Alex sat up, frowning as he heard the loud, chaotic noise in the background. Shouts, cheers, the clink of glasses. Where are you? Watching the game at a bar, the Qatar World Cup. Wanna come? It's not far from your place. Alex glanced at the clock. It was past 1 in the morning. But after the shock of his dream's transformation, sleep was the last thing on his mind. Fine, wait for me. Alex got out of the taxi. Even before he stepped into the bar, he could hear the roar of the crowd inside, cheers and shouts that shook the walls. From the sign outside, this should have been a quiet, laid-back spot for drinks and chats. But with the Qatar World Cup in full swing, it had clearly been converted into a football fan zone. Over here, Alex. Sit by me. Ryan waddled through the crowd, his round belly jiggling, and pulled Alex to a small table in the corner. Watch the game here. I'll grab some more beer. No, that's not why I came. We can talk while watching. What's the rush? With that, Ryan's stocky figure vanished into the throng of people. Ryan, Alex's oldest friend, the one he'd grown up with since childhood. Their parents had been co-workers at the same factory, and the two boys had been born in the same employee dormitory compound. Some might call it fate, others a cursed coincidence. From kindergarten through elementary, middle, and high school, they'd been either classmates or next-door neighbors. The only difference was that Alex had always been the better student. Thanks to his outstanding sketching skills in the art college entrance exam, plus decent grades in his regular classes, Alex had gotten into East Sea University. Ryan, on the other hand, had ended up at a technical college in the north. After graduation, Ryan had moved to East Sea City to chase his dreams too. Now, he worked as a car salesman at a Ford dealership. Alex trusted Ryan more than anyone else. Even after 20 years of having the same looping dream, Ryan was the only person he'd ever told about it. Here we go. Ryan squeezed back through the crowd, arms loaded with beer bottles. He plopped them down on the table and popped the caps off a few. Have a beer to calm your nerves. Spit it out, brother. What the hell happened? Clink. They clinked their bottles together, and Alex took a long swig of the icy beer. I didn't know. Only then did he start to feel grounded, like he was back in the real world. It's a long story. Alex set his glass down, gesturing with his hands as he began to explain everything, from bumping into Big Face Cat and seeing the Kiki Cat mask, to all the chaos at the company. He went on to talk about how he'd copied Kiki Cat from his dream and casually renamed it Ryan Cat, and finally, to returning to his dream and finding that overnight, everyone had forgotten the name Cake Cat, like it had never existed at all. The cat's name had changed to Ryan Cat without any warning. Got it. Ryan nodded along, sipping his beer, his eyes fixed on the empty air as he thought hard, a serious, tense look on his face. I get it now. Ryan put his glass down, his gaze hazy with alcohol. So basically, you drew a cat in the real world, and then it showed up in your dream. You didn't get any of it. Alex slammed his fist on the table, his voice rising in frustration. I just spent ages telling you the whole story, and that's all you took away from it? Ryan suddenly jumped to his feet, screaming at the top of his lungs, flailing his arms like a madman. He banged his fists on the table so hard the beer bottles rattled. Are you okay? Alex jumped back in shock, only to realize the entire bar had erupted in chaos, just like Ryan. Everyone was cheering and waving their arms, screaming at the top of their lungs, "Go! Awesome! Messi is a legend! We've got this! Argentina for the win! The GOAT!" Alex turned around. On the giant projection screen at the front of the bar, the replay of a goal was playing over and over again, each frame fueling the crowd's frenzy. You weren't even listening to me. Hey, I was listening. Haha, I totally was. Ryan sat back down, grinning from ear to ear, and refilled Alex's glass. We've known each other for 20 years, man. You've told me about your dream 100 times. It's always the same old stuff, isn't it? The point is, why did the dream never change for 20 years, but suddenly change today? Alex insisted, slamming his palm on the table to emphasize his point, his frustration boiling over. Ryan drained his beer in one gulp, slammed the empty bottle on the table with a loud thud, and pointed a finger straight at Alex, his eyes glinting with the confidence of someone who'd solved a great mystery. It's actually really simple. Let me tell you exactly why.